There's something profoundly comforting about stepping into a home that feels like a warm embrace from the past. The Grandmacore aesthetic isn't just a design trend. It's a heartfelt return to the gentle, nurturing spaces our grandmothers created with love, patience, and an eye for timeless beauty. In 2026, this nostalgic movement has blossomed into one of the most sought-after interior design styles, blending vintage charm with modern sensibility to create homes that feel both collected and deeply personal. If you've ever longed for spaces that tell stories, where every crocheted doily and floral teacup holds meaning, you're about to discover why Grandmacore Home Decor is capturing hearts everywhere.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Vintage Grandmacore Home Tour 2026 Shabby Chic Decor. Antique treasures in cozy cottage charm. This comprehensive home tour will guide you through the enchanting world of shabby chic interiors, cottagecore living, and vintage-inspired decor that defines the Grandmacore movement. You'll explore how to curate antique treasures that bring character to every corner. Discover the art of mixing floral patterns and lace accents without overwhelming your space, and learn styling secrets that transform ordinary rooms into cozy cottage retreats. From thrifted home decor finds to nostalgic design elements that spark joy, we'll uncover the essential components of creating an authentic Grandmacore aesthetic that feels both romantic and livable. Whether you're drawn to rustic farmhouse touches, Victorian-era charm, or simply crave a home that feels like a comforting heirloom, this tour offers practical inspiration for every room. One, creating your Grandmacore foundation, essential vintage elements for every room. Building a timeless space with nostalgic color palettes and textures. The foundation of any successful Grandmacore home starts with embracing soft, muted color schemes that evoke the gentle passage of time. Think dusty rose, sage green, butter yellow, and cream. Hues that feel like they've been kissed by sunlight streaming through lace curtains for decades. These vintage color palettes create an immediate sense of calm and nostalgia, setting the stage for layering in your cherished antique treasures and cottagecore decor. The beauty of these time-worn shades lies in their versatility. They work equally well in a Victorian-inspired bedroom or a rustic farmhouse kitchen, providing a cohesive backdrop that allows your vintage finds to shine. Consider painting walls in soft pastels or leaving original plaster exposed for that authentic shabby chic aesthetic that celebrates imperfection as part of the charm. Layering vintage textiles for warmth and comfort. No Grandmacore space feels complete without the tactile comfort of layered textiles that invite you to settle in and stay a while. Crocheted afghans draped over worn velvet settees, embroidered pillowcases piled on iron bed frames, and handmade quilts that tell stories of patient hands. These are the elements that transform a house into a nostalgic home decor sanctuary. Seek out vintage linens at estate sales and antique shops, looking for pieces with delicate tatting, hand-stitched monograms, or faded floral patterns that speak to grandmother's cottage charm. Mix textures freely. Pair smooth satin with nubby chenille, combine fine lace with coarse burlap, and don't shy away from pieces that show gentle wear. These imperfections are what give shabby chic interiors their soul, proving that beauty often lies in the lived in and loved. Sourcing authentic antique furniture with character. The heart of Grandmacore aesthetic lies in furniture pieces that carry history in their wood grain and character in their curves. Look for ornate Victorian dressers with original brass pulls, spindleback chairs that have welcomed countless family dinners, or French provincial armoires that bring romantic cottage vibes to any space. When thrifting home decor, focus on solid wood construction and classic silhouettes that have proven their staying power across generations. Don't be discouraged by pieces that need restoration. A weathered finish often adds to the vintage-inspired decor appeal, and minor imperfections like chipped paint or slightly wobbly legs contribute to the authentic shabby chic look. Mix eras freely. A 1920s vanity can coexist beautifully with a 1950s china cabinet when united by your cohesive color palette and styling approach. Two. The art of displaying antique treasures, curating collections with meaning. Creating vignettes that tell your family's story. The magic of vintage home styling lies not in perfectly matched sets, but in thoughtfully arranged collections that reflect personal history and aesthetic appreciation. Display your antique treasures in meaningful vignettes that group similar items by color, era, or emotional resonance. Stack vintage books with faded spines alongside porcelain figurines. Nestle old family photographs in ornate frames among dried flower arrangements, or arrange depression glass in sunny windows where light can dance through their delicate hues. The Grandmacore Home Tour approach celebrates abundance without clutter, creating visual interest through repetition and variation. Each surface becomes an opportunity to showcase your vintage finds. Think mantels adorned with brass candlesticks and mercury glass, or open shelving displaying transferware plates in graduated sizes that create rhythm and flow. Vintage kitchen displays that celebrate domestic heritage. The kitchen holds special significance in Grandmacore aesthetics, serving as both functional workspace and nostalgic shrine to domestic arts passed down through generations. Transform open shelves into displays of vintage Pyrex in cheerful patterns, enamelware with charming chips that prove its years of service, and mason jars filled with wooden spoons and whisks that have stirred countless family recipes. Hang copper molds on walls as functional art. Display your grandmother's rolling pin collection on a rustic farmhouse table, or create a coffee station featuring antique grinders and floral teacups that make each morning feel special. Consider incorporating retro kitchen decor elements like vintage advertising tins, old-fashioned scales, or collections of antique cookie cutters that double as wall art. The goal is creating a space that honors traditional foodways while remaining practical for modern cooking needs. Textile art and needlework as living gallery walls. One of the most overlooked aspects of cottagecore living is the art of displaying vintage textiles as the masterpieces they truly are. Frame delicate handkerchiefs with intricate tatted edges. Hang quilts as statement pieces that bring warmth and pattern to blank walls, or display collections of embroidered tea towels on antique ladder racks. Crochet doilies aren't just table protectors. They're intricate artworks that deserve prominent placement under lamps, framed as textile art, or layered on surfaces to add dimensional texture. Create a dedicated wall showcasing your collection of vintage aprons, each one telling stories of holiday baking and Sunday dinners. This approach to shabby chic decor celebrates the often unrecognized artistry of domestic crafts, elevating everyday objects into cherished heirlooms that honor the skilled hands that created them. Three, floral fantasy, maximizing pattern and botanical beauty. Mastering the art of mixing floral patterns without overwhelm. One of the signature elements of Grandmacore home decor is the fearless embrace of floral patterns in all their glory. The secret to successfully mixing multiple botanical prints lies in varying the scale and maintaining a cohesive color story throughout your space. Pair large cabbage roses with tiny ditzy florals, combine chintz patterns with toile narratives, and don't hesitate to layer floral wallpaper with complementary upholstery and curtains. The vintage-inspired aesthetic celebrates this abundance, but it requires a thoughtful hand. Anchor your room with solid colors in your muted color schemes, and use floral motifs strategically to create focal points rather than overwhelming every surface. Bringing nature indoors with fresh and dried botanical arrangements. The Grandmacore movement extends beyond printed patterns to embrace actual flowers and plants that connect interior spaces with the natural world. Fresh garden roses in vintage pitchers, wildflower bouquets in antique mason jars, and herb bundles drying from exposed beams all contribute to the cozy cottage charm that defines this aesthetic. Dried flowers have particular significance in nostalgic design. Think lavender wreaths hung on bedroom doors, hydrangea blooms gently fading to papery perfection in antique vases, or pressed flowers displayed in vintage frames as botanical art. Create seasonal arrangements using grandmother's china teapots as unexpected vessels, or gather backyard cuttings into impromptu bouquets that celebrate imperfection over formal floral design. This approach to botanical decor brings life, fragrance, and ever-changing beauty to your vintage home styling, ensuring your space feels vibrant rather than museum-like. Botanical wallpapers and textiles that transform spaces. For those ready to fully commit to the floral fantasy, wallpaper offers the most dramatic transformation in achieving an authentic Grandmacore aesthetic. Seek out vintage wallpaper patterns or modern reproductions that capture Victorian-era sensibilities. Think climbing roses, toile de Joey narratives, or delicate lily of the valley trails that create vertical interest. Accent walls work beautifully in bedrooms or powder rooms where the pattern can be appreciated without overwhelming smaller spaces. Complement your chosen wallpaper with coordinating fabrics. Reupholster an inherited settee in complementary chintz. Sew curtains from vintage floral sheets found while thrifting home decor. Or layer botanical quilts with solid coverlets for balanced bedroom styling. Companies like Spoonflower allow you to create custom fabric from vintage floral designs. Four, cozy cottage living spaces. Comfort meets timeless style. Designing living rooms that invite conversation and connection. The living room in a Grandmacore home serves as the heart of hospitality, a space arranged not for television viewing, but for genuine human connection over tea and conversation. Furniture placement should encourage intimate groupings. Position vintage armchairs to face each other across a distressed coffee table. Angle a velvet settee to create conversation areas. And ensure every seating spot has access to warm lighting from antique lamps with fringed shades. Layer Persian or hooked rugs over worn hardwood floors. Pile handmade pillows in mixed floral patterns on every surface. And drape crocheted throws within easy reach for those who feel a chill. The shabby chic living room aesthetic celebrates comfort above formality, with slightly sagging cushions and well-loved upholstery that invite guests to truly relax. Add cozy cottage elements like vintage books stacked on side tables, antique board games ready for rainy afternoons, and collections of old photographs that spark storytelling. Creating reading nooks and creative corners. Every Grandmacore home needs dedicated spaces for quiet pursuits. Reading, letter writing, needlework, or simply daydreaming by the window. Carve out these precious corners using an inherited wingback chair positioned to catch natural light, a small secretary desk where vintage stationery and fountain pens await inspiration, or a cushioned window seat piled with needlepoint pillows perfect for curling up with classic novels. Enhance these cozy retreat spaces with vintage task lighting, perhaps a brass pharmacy lamp or converted oil lamp with a pleated fabric shade. Keep baskets nearby filled with current projects, half-finished embroidery, journals with marbled covers, or vintage magazines for inspiration. These dedicated spaces honor the slow living philosophy inherent in cottagecore aesthetics, providing sanctuary from modern life's relentless pace while surrounding you with nostalgic home decor that nurtures creativity and contemplation. Lighting that captures golden hour magic. Lighting makes or breaks the Grandmacore ambience, with harsh overhead fixtures being the enemy of cozy cottage charm. Instead, layer multiple sources of warm, diffused light that mimic the gentle glow of late afternoon sun filtering through lace curtains. Hunt for antique floor lamps with silk shades that cast rosy halos, vintage table lamps with delicate pull chains and milk glass bases, and ornate wall sconces that provide ambient lighting without modern harshness. Candles play an essential role. Display collections of mismatched candlesticks in brass, silver, and glass across mantels and tables, choosing unscented options that won't overwhelm your space. For authentic vintage-inspired lighting, seek out converted oil lamps, Victorian gas fixtures adapted for electricity, or rustic farmhouse chandeliers crafted from wood and iron. Five, bedroom sanctuaries, romantic spaces for rest and restoration. Layering linens for ultimate comfort and visual appeal. The Grandmacore bedroom represents the pinnacle of romantic cottage aesthetics, where layers upon layers of vintage textiles create a nest-like sanctuary for restorative sleep. Start with a quality mattress dressed in vintage sheets. Seek out high thread count cotton or linen with delicate floral patterns, eyelet trim, or hand-embroidered monograms that personalize your space. Add a featherbed or mattress topper for cloud-like softness, then layer quilts of varying weights depending on season. Lightweight cotton for summer, wool or down for winter, always choosing pieces with visual interest through patchwork, applique, or vintage fabrics. Top everything with a chenille bedspread or crocheted coverlet that cascades to the floor, and pile the bed with an abundance of pillows in vintage pillowcases featuring tatting, crochet edges, or faded floral prints. Vintage furniture placement for flow and function. Bedroom furniture in the Grandmacore style should balance practical storage needs with aesthetic beauty, preferring pieces that showcase craftsmanship and character. Position an antique iron or brass bed as your room's focal point, flanked by mismatched nightstands that tell their own stories. Perhaps a Victorian marble-top table on one side and a painted cottage piece on the other. Include a vintage dresser with original mirror for morning routines, and if space allows, add a cozy seating area featuring an upholstered slipper chair for reading or a fainting couch that adds romantic drama. Don't overlook smaller antique treasures. A vintage luggage rack for tomorrow's outfit, an ornate standing mirror in the corner, or a delicate vanity table dressed with antique perfume bottles and silver-backed brushes. Creating mood with window treatments and soft accessories. Window dressing in Grandmacore bedrooms serves both practical and aesthetic purposes, controlling light while contributing to the room's romantic cottage vibes. Layer treatments for maximum impact. Start with sheer lace panels that filter morning sun into a dreamy glow, add heavier floral or toile curtains that can be drawn for privacy, and top everything with a vintage valance or pelmet for finished elegance. Seek out antique curtain rods in ornate brass or wrought iron, and don't hesitate to hang curtains higher and wider than your windows to create the illusion of grander proportions. Beyond windows, soften your space with carefully chosen accessories. Vintage rag rugs beside the bed for bare feet on cold mornings, antique hat boxes stacked for both storage and visual interest, and collections of old jewelry displayed on velvet ring holders or in vintage dishes. Conclusion. The beauty of embracing Grandmacore home decor lies not merely in the aesthetic appeal of shabby chic interiors and vintage treasures, but in the deeper connection to heritage, craftsmanship, and the unhurried pace of life that this style represents. As you've discovered through this home tour, creating spaces filled with cottagecore charm and nostalgic design elements offers more than visual pleasure. It provides daily reminders that our homes can be sanctuaries from the relentless modern world. Each antique treasure you display, every floral pattern you layer, and all those crocheted textiles you drape with care contribute to a living environment that values history, honors handmade artistry, and celebrates the simple comfort of spaces that feel like coming home to grandmother's embrace. This isn't about recreating museum displays or achieving Instagram perfection, but rather curating authentic spaces that reflect your unique story while drawing inspiration from the timeless wisdom of generations past. As you embark on your own Grandmacore journey, remember that the most beautiful vintage-inspired homes evolve slowly, organically, and with intention. Start with pieces that speak to your heart. Perhaps a single floral teacup from an antique shop, a crocheted afghan inherited from family, or a faded quilt discovered while thrifting home decor at your local estate sale. Let these treasures guide your aesthetic choices, adding layers gradually as you discover what brings you joy and comfort. Don't be afraid to mix eras, embrace imperfection, or create your own interpretation of cozy cottage, living that suits your lifestyle while honoring this nostalgic aesthetic. Whether you're transforming a single room or reimagining your entire home, the Grandmacore movement welcomes you with open arms and promises spaces that nurture your soul as beautifully as they please your eye. Share your vintage finds, celebrate your grandmother's treasures, and most importantly, create a home that tells your story with every carefully chosen detail.